Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Monday, February 3rd, 2020, and we again find ourselves in the final hour of the market. As I mention each day, and I think it's worth repeating, I prefer to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions during the last hour of the market. The reason why is that during the day you have the algorithms, you have the day traders, they're moving it around, they're moving the price around. I consider it primarily a lot of noise. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in, they take over the pricing from the day traders and the algorithms, and they move it to what, in my opinion, is the most valid price of the day to make your buying and selling decisions. So I primarily make the majority of my buying and selling decisions right at the close, just a minute or two, a few minutes right before the close, and I base my trades off of what the large financial institutions are doing. Today is an exception. I did have a trade intraday, which I'll share with you in a bit. But like I say, sometimes I do it if I see a really good setup, but the majority of times I don't. But today I did, and luckily I did. It was a great trade. So anyway, thank you everybody for coming today. I hope that you had a nice weekend. I was looking forward to seeing everybody today on Monday. And Evan is here. Hi, Evan. Good to see you, sir. Zach is here. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Zach. MJ is here, back in the live stream. That's our friend Jackson from Australia. So good to see you, Jackson. And Jackson sent me a message. He has been out fighting fires and saving animals there in Australia with all the fires. So thank you for doing that, Jackson. That was sure nice of you. Good karma, my friend. Glad to have you back. So, all right, well, hey, JT is here. Good to see you, JT. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope everybody enjoyed the Super Bowl if you watched it. And thanks for coming, JT. So, all right, well, we have an update today. It was a little scary over the weekend because of the coronavirus, but we actually got some green today, and it's a good day. Dow Jones is up 188 points. Up about 0.67%. The NASDAQ is up 123 points, up 1.35%, and the S&P is up 27 points, up 0.87. So we were higher earlier, but we are having a good day. We are having a great day today. So, all right. Marco is here. Good to see you, my friend. Appreciate you coming. Joe Turner is present. Good to know. Good to see you, Joe. So, all right, well, listen, here's the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Going to come back. I'm going to take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them moving forward. After that, we are going to take a look at some of your trades that you've shared with me. We'll see how those are working out. Then we're going to spend a few minutes on trader psychology. I mention this each day, and I try to touch on it each day, but it's the most important skill you can learn in trading. It's important to learn the technicals, support, resistance, entries, exits, all that kind of stuff. Yes, you have to know that. Yes, you have to be able to make a plan. But at the end of the day, if you can't follow the plan, then all that knowledge in your plan is useless if you don't follow it. So it's, very important to follow your plan, very important to be disciplined with your trading, whatever it takes, whether it's having somebody looking over his shoulder to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do, whether it is reducing your position size so that you don't have as many emotions. That will definitely help you stick with the trade as well. So we're going to touch on that. We're going to come back. We're going to go through my watch list. We're going to go through each stock one by one. We're going to look at support levels, resistance levels. We're going to look at indicators such as MACD and RSI and moving averages and ATR channels. And my philosophy on trading is I view each one of those indicators as a group of buyers. And if you want to put yourself in the best position to have a positive trade, you need to be with as many groups with as many other buyers as possible. So if I look at an indicator as a group of buyers, and if I have 1, 2, or 3 or 4 indicators lining up at the same time, then I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, or 4 groups of buyers. And again, the more buyers you have, the better. So I look for a confluence or a combination of indicators. That's first requirement. Second requirement, make sure I have a good risk to reward ratio. Make sure I can make at least 2 times what I'm risking to the upside compared to the downside based upon valid support and resistance. Valid resistance above you and valid support below you. And then requirement number 3, make sure I do not have too many correlated positions. I don't want to have 3 or 4 tech stocks, right? That's just like having 3 or 4 times your regular position. I like to have different industries. Ideally, I like to have some gold or some silver or some oil, something in there to make it even more diversified. So I'm going to go through the watch list, look for those 3 criteria. If I find something at the end of the day, I'm going to go ahead and I'll place the order right near the end of the day. So then after the market closes, if anybody has any questions, please let me know. Happy to answer, happy to clarify for you. If there's any stock symbols you'd like me to look at, I'm very happy to do that. And then if there are any stock symbols that you feel like would be helpful for the group that you would like me to break down, give you my opinion on before the market closes, just go ahead, put them in the chat. Maybe put an asterisk by it, something like that, so I know it's time sensitive. All right, so that is the plan. So, all right, I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. I will be back in about 40 seconds, so hang tight, please. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right. Hey, Glenn, how you doing? Glenn says, Greg, did you jump into Tesla? I did. That was my day trade. How'd you know, Glenn? I'll show you that in a minute. How about yourself? Mount Doji, hey buddy, good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. Jackson says, thanks buddy, been following every day, just delayed. Okay, well thanks for doing that, and thanks a lot for what you were doing down there, just to go help out people, help out animals. I mean, good on you, my friend, good on you for sure. All right, well, let's get to it. All right, so I did buy Disney back here on the 30th of January. I bought it. We had a V1. Here's day 1. Here's day 2. Let me make sure. Yeah. Here's day 1. Here's day 2. Day 2 washes out day 1. Day 2 closes above the 200-day moving average. Went under the negative third ATR channel, over the negative third ATR channel. So this gives me my entry. V1. Under negative third ATR channel, over, and a close over the 200. I really like this trade. I mean, it has worked out nicely, but the reason I do like it is because my stop is a close below the 200. If I'm wrong, I can be wrong very, very small. If I'm right, I have the ability to have a nice big win, which happened today, right? So the next day after I bought it, it went up. I think I hit 1 profit target. Today hit 3 profit targets, which really happy for that, for sure. It's up 1.9%. It got very close to the 50 RSI, and it has rejected the 20-day moving average, which concerns me a little bit. It really does. And, you know, if you look at this whole move down, now we're getting close to about the 50% mark. See the move from here to here. Now we've rallied up to 50%. You know, if I have a big move down, that you generally have some kind of resistance right at the 50% mark. And that's exactly what happened. So, you know, if we were to close over 50 today and also close above that 20, I would definitely keep it. We have earnings tomorrow, by the way. So, you know, if I keep it, the most I can keep it is overnight until the end of the day. But I am leaning towards just locking this profit in here today because of the close rejection of the 50 and the 20-day moving average. And it had a 50% move back up in this 100% move back down. So I'll just have to watch this here towards the end of the day. But this has been a really nice trade. Silver has not been a nice trade. I did buy silver on Friday when we had the 5 EMA cross over the 20 EMA. My stop was a close both below the 5 and the 20. I've changed that a little bit. As you know, I've mentioned that here beginning of the year. Previously, I was waiting for the 5 to cross back below the 20. I switched it to the price closing back below the moving averages that crossed over, which was the 5 and 20. Today, it's a moot point because it's done both. It looks like it's going to close below the 5 and the 20, and actually the 5 actually crossed underneath here. So anyway, kind of a bummer, but that's how it goes. I actually liked having it as a little bit of insurance. With everything going on with the coronavirus. But I wouldn't have the insurance just to have the insurance, right? It was a valid signal. So anyway, I'm definitely going to be exiting this at the end of the day and having to take that loss. SPY. All right, so I know you guys get tired of hearing this every day, but in case we have some new viewers today, I do want to explain how I trade the SPY every day. So I do buy the SPY every single day at the close of the day, right at the end, and I sell it the first thing the next morning, regardless of technicals, regardless of support and resistance. This is all based upon a long-term back-tested study from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest. This back test was all the way from 1993 up to 2019. This back test tested two approaches. The first approach was buying the SPY at the open each day, selling it at the close each day. So buy the open, sell the close, buy the open, sell the close. If you would have used this approach every single day since 1993, you'd actually returned a negative 13.9% return for all your troubles. However, if you did the opposite, which is what I do, instead of buying it at the open, selling at the close, I buy it at the close, sell the next open. So if you did this every day, buy the close, sell the next open, buy the close, sell the next open, you'd have actually returned a 634.2% return. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. That is true. But if I'm going to allocate money towards something, I'm definitely going to allocate it towards something that has good historical results compared to something that has bad results. Like the buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon has not so great results. The buy in the afternoon, sell the morning has great results. I love this chart. It shows you if you have an edge, what your equity curve can look like over time. If you can stay in the game, position size small, stay in the game, you're going to go through ups and downs, no doubt about it. This is, so far 2020, this has been a losing approach for me. But in 2019, it was a very profitable approach. So with that being said, I did buy the SPY here at 321.73 on Friday, and I sold it at the open this morning for a nice gain, 323.35. So anyway, that's good. Like I said, I'm negative on the year, not a huge amount, but definitely negative on the year. But I've mentioned this before, May of 2019, I think I lost 80% of my overnight SPY trades. But you zoom out, you take a bigger picture, 2019, even with that bad month, was very, very profitable. So we'll see if February is going to be a little bit better. But anyway, nice trade. 221.73, sold it today at 323.35. All right, Win. I did buy Win back here on the 30th of January. We had a confluence of signals. We really had a sell-off because of this coronavirus. I mean, my gosh, look at this sell-off, just huge. But we did come down here, find support at the 200-day. We also found support at the 100-day. What I really like about this trade is that we come down, we go sideways, 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 and then the day that I bought it, we spiked down again, tested the 200, closed back over, had the V1, right? So it's a false breakout to the downside and a nice V1 and a rejection of the 200-day. Friday, it was down slightly, but we had a 606 point down day on Friday, so it held up really well. And today it's up nicely. It's up 1.85%, and I did hit one profit target here. So for my normal regular trades, Disney is a nice overnight. I mean, Disney's has been a really great trade to the upside. Silver has been our one loser. SPY, nice gap overnight for a profitable trade, and Win, nice profitable trade. Now, Tesla, like I said, I don't trade intraday very often, but occasionally I do. Because I was sitting here waiting for the podcast. I got up earlier than I thought, so I sat here. I'm like, well, if I'm going to sit here, I guess I'll trade. So this is on the 5-minute chart. you can see we were well above the value zone, way above the third ATR channel. I wanted to wait till it came back into the value zone, which it normally does, right? I didn't take this trade here because it was too high. We were over my limit as far as buying to the 1 ATR channel, even though it was a nice V2, but you know, it didn't really have any sidewards movement. I mean, it came down, it went up, it came down. Then we had some sideways movement. Then we went down. Then we triggered the V1. See, here's day one, here's day two. Day two washes out day one, closes above day one's close, and it rejected the negative third ATR channel, which is really great, right? On these V1s, V2s, if you can reject the negative 1 ATR channel down there, it's always good. But again, above the value zone, into the value zone, sideways movement, down. There's the trigger. I hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 profit targets on this, which was pretty good. I mean, for an intraday trade from top to bottom there, that was 2.9%. So, you know, it did move more than 1 ATR away from my entry. So at that point I was trailing it, and you can see on this bar here, closed below the previous day's low. And that was my signal to get out. But this was a great intraday trade. I'm glad I took it. So just another example of not buying up here when it's extended. Wait for it to come back into the value zone. Wait for your trigger. In my case, I scale out and trail, scale and trail, scale and trail, and that's where I got out. But that was a really great trade. Also, I also wanted to point out, you know, I like to look at trades in 2 time frames. So I was trading the 5-minute chart. I went to the 39-minute chart as my longer term chart. And the reason, actually, what caught my attention in the first place, see back here, we had this big bar, then we went way up. Well, this should hold as some kind of support. You can see it's exactly what happened. We came down, we held the support of that previous high. That's when I turned intraday to look for an actual entry. And of course, that was the entry right there. So those are my trades. So it's pretty good today. 4 out of 5 winners. So that's great. Let's take a look over here. Let's see. So Glenn, I'm not sure if Glenn still has gold or not. Maybe you could let me know, Glenn. But I know you bought it down here. Excuse me, 147.02. It's been up and down and up. And anyway, let me know if you still have that. But if you do, you're definitely still positive. May, haven't seen May for a while, but May did buy this V1 bullish engulfing bar here. Moved up nicely, moved down, moved up, moved down. So definitely profitable on the trade. Not sure if May was scaling out or anything like that. Looks like we do have a V2 to the downside here, a lower high as well. So if that was my trade, I would most likely have gotten out, but may have already gotten out already. Bing He, so Bing He bought a Dollar Tree back here on the 30th, V1 bullish engulfing bar, under 30, over 30. Held up pretty well on Friday, up nicely today. So very nice, Bing He. Evan, I think Evan still has this. Bullish engulfing bar, V1, false breakout to the downside here. Moved up nicely, 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 nicely. So Evan, if you still have that, let me know. Or if you've taken it off, let me know. But that's Keurig Dr. Pepper. And then Bing He also bought LIVN back on the 30th of January. V1, under 30, over 30, rejection of the negative third ATR channel. And it looks like he's just about even on that so far today. Glenn says, Greg, Disney results are coming out tomorrow. Will you sell all today? Yeah, well, you know, my inclination here is to sell it because we got pretty close to the 50 RSI and we rejected the negative 20 EMA. And if, you know, you look at the high here to the low here, we got right to about 50%. If you could just move all these bars in together, it would be a bar this big, and we've rallied back to halfway. So my inclination is to sell this unless we close above 50. RSI at the very least. If not, I'm going to go ahead and just get out because sellers came in at the 50 RSI and it also rejected the 20-day moving average. So this has been a good 2-day trade. My inclination is to take this off. I'd have to get out of it anyway tomorrow for earnings, but which is fine. I could hold it one more day, but I'll just see how this closes. Mount Doji said, would love to hear your thoughts on RAD. Let's look at the weekly. Well, okay, so the weekly looks pretty good. We are very, very strong. We've come back down. Don't want to buy it up here, right? We are now in the value zone. We are now starting to go sideways, which is good. So let's look at the smaller time frame. So, okay, we closed below the 1 ATR channel. We came up here. We failed. We did make a higher low here. I think the time to have bought it would have been here, Mount Doji, where you had this V1 and rejection of the -1 ATR channel and you closed back in. Me personally, I don't think I would buy it here. I mean, there's a kind of a V1, but not really a valid V1. It is a bullish engulfing bar. It may close over the 50 RSI. I do like the weekly. I mean, I like what the weekly's doing here. Down, back into the value zone, moving sideways. I mean, at the end of the week, this may create a V2 to the upside here on the weekly, but it would be a little high for me to buy based upon this weekly channel. Yeah, me personally, you know, but I'm just trying to give you my honest opinion. I don't think I would buy this. Evan still has KDP. Okay. Hey, Bing He, what's going on, buddy? I just talked about your trades. Hey, Steve Burns. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for coming. Always an honor to have you here, sir. Appreciate everything you do. Always exciting to have you in the chat, and I'm excited. I know everyone else is too. Steve says, hey, Greg, Dan, the founder of TrendSpider, what he can tell the V12 script is incomplete. If the guy working with the script can contact him directly, and he would be happy to help him work it out. Okay, good to know. Steve says, hey, Greg, what a great day in the markets. I sold SPY into the open. I am still in IBB and IWC. Oh, let's take a look. Woohoo! So looks like Steve bought IBB with under 30, over 30, rejection of the -30 ATR channel. Fantastic. And IWC. Oh, I don't look at IWC very often. Oh, that's the micro caps. Oh, we had an under 30, over 30. Very nice, Steve. Fantastic. Glenn says, Greg, still holding gold, but will close on any move below 147. Okay, John Turner, I got out of gold. GILD. Oh, you know what, Joe? That's fantastic. I wasn't sure if you had gotten out of this. I know you bought this back here, and I know it was a great trade, but then I didn't hear from you. But fantastic. Beautiful trade, my friend. All right. Well, I'm going to take that off the board then. Bing He, I shorted CLGX at market open at 45, but looks like I may need to cut my loss. CLGX. CLGX. You shorted it at the open. Okay. All right. Well, you let me know. You let me know what you're doing with that. Glenn says, I jumped into SLV on Friday going against my trading rules. Yet another lesson learned. Thankfully, small loss, using only 5% of the portfolio per trade with a 2% loss on the trade. The impact is minimal. Good. They're not all going to be winning trades, but you know, if you can keep the losses small by positioning correctly, that's what's important. Mount Doji, sheesh, how much lower can energy go? I know, it's crazy, huh? All right. So listen, everybody, this is the time of the day that I do like to touch on trader psychology. There's some really great Facebook, really great Twitter channels out there that spend a lot of time and energy and put out good trading words of wisdom for us to read. And, they're free. It's fun. It's easy for us to read them, and they carry so much wisdom. But this is from my good friend Thomas Paine, one of the best Twitter channels out there, no doubt about it, when it comes to trading words of wisdom. So Thomas Paine at Trader T Paine on Twitter. Thomas says, you don't need to make money today. You don't need to make money tomorrow. Trying to force the market to give you money every day is what causes the market to take your money every day. Isn't that good? I mean, it's very simple, but it's very deep. You don't need to make money today. You don't need to make money tomorrow. Trying to force the market to give you money every day is what causes the market to take your money every day. So, it's so true. I hear people say, well, I need to make $500 a day trading. I'm like, how do you do that? Right? I mean, I can't put some requirement on the market for it to give me a certain amount of money each day. It'd be nice, but the market gives it to you when it gives it to you. And that's all there is to it. You put yourself in a good position to have a good risk to reward ratio, have good support underneath you, have, good risk to reward above you. You can do all those things and the markets can still go against you. So, trying to force the market to give it to you every day. I mean, of course we all want to make money every day, but if you try to force it, it does the opposite and it literally takes money from you. So, sometimes you make money, sometimes you lose money. Me personally, I'll go sideways, lose a little, make a little, lose a little, make a little. And, my gains come in runs, and they may be a month apart from each other. So this idea of trying to make money every day, I don't even think of it that way. I just trade the best I can, put myself in the best position with support underneath me, small loss if I'm wrong, position size correctly. And sometimes it's very frustrating. You can have the greatest setups, it still goes against you. Greatest setup still goes against you. But, it comes in clusters. So trade correctly, position size correctly, set yourself up for a good risk to reward. And, eventually you'll hit some big clusters of wins, and that's how you make your money. But I love this. Trying to force the market to give you money every day is what causes the market to take your money every day. So think about that the next time that you're trying to force the market to give you money on any day. So thank you so much, Thomas. That's really helpful. Zach says, are there any free sites that show all the info on these charts, like your Trade Navigator or TrendSpider, that you would recommend? I think TradingView is pretty good. I don't know if it's free or not though, Zach, but I think they have a pretty low priced one. And then also stockcharts.com is fairly inexpensive as well. I think TrendSpider and I think Trade Navigator are a little bit more expensive, but maybe somebody out there can put in their 2 cents. But is TradingView free? Maybe they have a free version with not a lot of indicators, but I've heard a lot of good things about TradingView from a price standpoint, and then stockcharts.com is very inexpensive as well. Zach says, being that I am just starting and learning, I am hesitant to dump a lot of resources in too early. Yeah, I don't blame you, Zach. I don't blame you. If I didn't have a lot of resources in trading and I didn't want to have to spend money on a lot of charts and so forth, I would probably just take longer term trades, Zach. Crossover trades, longer term kind of trend trades off the 200, something like that. What do I think of BIG and ROST? BIG looks pretty good. We close below the -1 ATR channel. We rally into the value zone. We have 2 days down. Now we have a nice V1/V2 combination. Looks like we're closing above the 50 RSI. Looks like we're closing over all the moving averages here. Higher low V2 also. Let's look at the weekly. Well, we moved up really strong. We've come down. We've started to go sideways. Yeah, I like it. I mean, if I were to trade this and buy it at the end of the day, I would use halfway the washout bar, which would be right about here. Today is actually, it's a V1 because we went lower, so I would probably use right about here for my stop loss. But that does look pretty good. I mean, that's a beautiful higher low V1 back into the value zone, reject the -1 ATR channel, above the 50 RSI, above the moving averages. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And ROST. Not too bad. I mean, looks like we went under 30, over 30, under the -3rd channel, over to the -3rd channel, rejected the 100-day moving average, closed above. A lot of resistance here, it looks like to me. You're at a 42.90 RSI. If I were to, I mean, you could take this trade, but I would definitely use a 100-day moving average, close below that as my initial stop. Let's look at the weekly. Huh? Weekly's pretty good. I mean, you know, let's look at the monthly. Monthly, definitely an uptrend. Weekly, normal to be expected pullback into the value zone. Daily, there's your trigger. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I do like it. This concerns me a little bit up here, but of course, I'm just anticipating that it's going to have an issue there. But I do like the rejection of the -3rd ATR channel. It looks like we went under 30 and then back over 30 and now back over the 100 days. So, you know, I mean, do I know this is going to go up 100%? No, I do not. But, you know, I do like that the market just told me on Friday that it doesn't like it down here, and it gives a pretty good risk to reward. If it hit the 50 RSI, I would get out. Bing He, TradingView is not free. The free version can only put 3 indicators at one time. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought there was a free version, but only 3 indicators. So that's the deal. So if you want more than 3 indicators, you have to pay, which does make sense. Steve says stockcharts.com has a limited free version with ads. Okay, good to know. TrendSpider has a 7-day free trial. Good to know. So might want to look at that. So stockcharts.com has a limited free version. TrendSpider 7-day free trial. JT says you can open a demo account at TD Ameritrade for free. Oh, thank you, JT. That's good to know. So you would open a demo account there and then I guess use their charts. Steve says on my chart, it looks like XLE is right above the 4th lower deviation Keltner channel. Incredible. Look at this. 1997 RSI. Hey, Andrea, what's going on? Good to see you, my friend. Andrea says, I am still in VIX. Only 100 shares, though. Hey, that's fine. Been a great trade on VIX so far. Down a little bit today, but you would expect that. Jackson says, TradingView is powerful on their free plans act. You can combine indicators into one. So if you are prepared to learn Pine script, you can get all the indicators Greg uses. Oh, so you make one indicator with all the indicators inside the one indicator. Yeah, Jackson's like a pro with TradingView. He's like a tech savant when it comes to TradingView. Andrea says, that XLE chart is something else. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, could you imagine if you thought this was low enough? Can't go any lower. It can always go lower. It can always go higher. Should we take a look at Tesla? See how the shorts are doing on Tesla? My gosh. I mean, look at this chart, everybody. It's up 18.8% today. It's insane. I mean, I'm glad I had a nice trade on it. Wow. Jackson says, if not, the pro level plan is $20 per month. Okay, it's pretty reasonable, I think. Zach says, thank you for the info being he and Steve and MJ. We'll look into these. Good. I hope that helps, Zach. Okie dokie. Let me see what I'm doing here. All right. All right. So it looks like we got some time. All right. Well, let's start and see what's going on here. So Apple had a huge down day, and as I normally say, if you have one bar that's larger than one ATR that comes from above the negative one, from above the one ATR channel into the value zone, a lot of more, I would say 65% of the time, maybe even 70% of the time, you're going to go down and at least go as low as the negative one ATR channel. It's exactly what happened. My gosh, we were at 302 earlier today. Looks like we might trigger a V1 here, but of course I cannot buy a V1 up against this big old bar. So I just need to get some sideways movement here. Been waiting for this dip on Apple. As you know, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Did not want to buy up here. Felt like it was just going to go along without me, but it did come back in, came back up here. We have a double top with the bearish divergence. Here's this top. We go down, we go back up. We've got green, we went red, we went higher. No green, that's a double top with the bearish divergence, and then it cracks. So I'd just be waiting for Apple just to move sideways here. And alternatively, if it keeps going down, I might be able to take a crack at it down here at the 50-day moving average. That might also be a good location, but nothing yet on Apple. The dip is here now, finally, but again, just because it's in the value zone is not enough. Now I need to see it stop moving down. Big day on Adobe. Need to wait for a pullback into value. Amazon, of course, had great earnings. Ooh, look at this. We tested the low of the gap up day and it held, right? If it closed below the low of the gap up day, that would be a little bit, well, not a little bit, it would be bearish. But nothing here for me on Amazon. I need to wait for some kind of pullback in order to get interested. Boeing, we closed below the negative one ATR channel. We came into the value zone. We've had a couple days down. If I could get a V1 or V2 tomorrow, be fantastic. MACD is positive, which is good. So I'm looking for a V1 or a V2 tomorrow back up into the value zone. That is, so nothing yet today. But tomorrow we'll see what happens. Berkshire Hathaway, nothing on Berkshire. Beyond Meat. So, want to point out, Steve had a beautiful trade back here with the 520 EMA cross, just over, I think, 38% in 5 days. Massive trade, one of the biggest trades I've ever seen. Congratulations, Steve. But once it gets up here, I need to wait for a pullback to value. Well, it just kind of moves sideways. Now it is pulling back to value. It's exactly what I want, right? But now I need it to move sideways, stop going down, and look for a V1 or a V2 as my entry. But again, time after time after time, if you buy up in these ranges, a lot more than 50% of the time, you are going to be very sorry that you did, as all these people up here are now sorry that they bought. Wait till the bare minimum, it comes into the value zone. Caterpillar, ooh, not doing well today. Look at that. Tried to get over the 200. Now it's under the 200. 2356 RSI. The very, very least to close back over the 200. But that 200 is going to act as resistance above it. Dow is up a little bit. Of course, Friday we had this huge big down day, larger than 1 ATR. Generally, if you rally, you're going to find resistance about halfway. Well, look at that. Surprise, surprise. Exactly where it found resistance. Big bar down. It did rally, but it's now resistance at the 50 fib of this yesterday's bar. So nothing there. Walt Disney, of course, we bought the V1, rejection of the negative third ATR channel, close over the 200. Really great day today. Again, earnings is tomorrow. If we don't close over the 50 RSI minimum, I am going to take this off. No, I should say the minimum would be closing over the 20-day moving average, 20-day EMA. But, you know, there's kind of a confluence here of resistance. It rejected the 20-day EMA, and it kind of rejected the 50 RSI. Not exactly, but in the general area. And we had this big move down. Now we've rallied to about halfway. It still could go up, but if it doesn't close at least above the 20-day moving average, I'm just going to lock in profits. Etsy, again, buying up in these areas time after time shows you that it's generally not a good procedure. Wait for it to come back down in the value zone. We did make a lower high. When I have a lower high, I'm going to have to wash out that first low. So it would have to come down into this range for me to get interested. Facebook up a little bit. I would be looking for a confluence of the 30 RSI and the 100-day moving average. Excuse me, gold. So Glenn has gold. He has a stop on there. I would be waiting for either the 5 EMA to cross under the 20 EMA and then back over, or a close back in the value zone, sideways movement. Look for a V1, V2. We had a great trade on gold back here in the value zone when the 5 crossed over the 20. We had a great trade all the way up to here. We scaled out, but that's what I would be looking for again, for the 5 EMA to cross under the 20 and then back over, or a pullback into value with sideways movement. Google has earnings after the bell today, so that should definitely be interesting. Don't want to gamble on that. But anyone have any guesses? Are they going to beat? Is the stock going to go up? Are they going to beat? Stock's going to go down? Are they going to miss? Stock's going to go up, or miss and the stocks go down? It's one of those 4, I'm pretty sure, right? But I don't buy in front of earnings. Goldman Sachs, well, you know, this is really what I was looking for. We have a big up move, pull back into value, sideways movement. I would just need a trigger now. The 5 is barely above the 20. If we could get it to go under the 20, the 5 under the 20, and then back over, that's a good back-tested approach. The 5 going under the 20 and then back over. So that could be a trigger. It'd be nice if we had a confluence of triggers. It'd be nice if the 5 went under the 20, back over, and on the same day we had some kind of V1, V2 in the value zone. So Goldman Sachs, nothing today, but definitely possibly setting up. Home Depot, nothing there. IBB, very nice trade, Steve. Beautiful trade, under 30, over 30. Under the negative 30 HER channel, over the 30 HER channel, almost 2% up to move today. Fantastic. Intel, just looking for a pullback into the value zone. Sideways movement, same story. IWM, nothing really there on IWM. Johnson & Johnson up today. Lots of bearish divergences going on with Johnson & Johnson. Look at this. We have a high. See how high the green bars are? We make another high, less green bars. Then we made another high, less green bars. So this is called a triple bottom with a bearish divergence. So, you know, big picture to me, this looks shorty, but no signal. CarMax, been waiting for a pullback into value. Just poke its head down here. If we could get down here, test that 100-day moving average, move sideways, that's where I would be looking. Coca-Cola, have to come all the way back into the value zone. Lockheed Martin, okay, well, we're back in the value zone. Now we just need to move sideways, look for V1, V2. MasterCard, nothing there. McDonald's, very strong. We need to pull back into value. Merck, nothing there. I did buy Merck here. We went under 30, over 30, under the 100, over the 100. V1 moved up for a couple days, scaled out of some, luckily. Then it went back down. I had to get out with a small loss on Friday when it closed back below the 100-day. And then it just reversed my way, right? But that's how it goes. Microsoft, very, very strong today. We need to pull back into value. Netflix, very strong today. Too high, though. We need to pull back into value. Nike. Well, we were under the negative 1 HER channel, came back into the value zone above the negative 1 HER channel. Some kind of higher low V1 or V2 might be interesting here. Huge gap up today, though. Huge. Look at this gap. So nothing there. Philip Morris, Nothing there. We have earnings coming up. I would be looking for an under 30, over 30. I would be looking for a deep dip buy at this point. PayPal was above the 1 ATR channel, back in the value zone. It's just kind of moved sideways. Too high for me to buy here and really no trigger. Q's looks about the same. Do want to point out, look at the volume on Friday on the down bar. Look at the volume. Now we went up today, but look at the volume. Pretty anemic, right? I'd like to see high volume on the way up and low volume on the way down. Here we have big volume on the way up, low volume on the way, big volume on the way down, small volume on the way up. Silver, this is my one stinker today for sure. I took this with the 520 cross. I'm definitely going to have to get out of this today before the close. S&P, going to be buying that again at the close today. Overnight SPY trade. TLT down a bit today. Seems like it's having some issues up in this level here. Tesla up a mere 18.42%. Can you just imagine being short this? I mean, this is insane. I hate to even think about it. Twitter. Well, we came into the value zone. We made a lower high. We did wash out the previous low. Technically, if we had a V1 right, we could have a V2 here, right? Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 2 washes out day 1. If this closed above here, I might consider taking it. Again, we had a lower high. If we have a lower high, we have to wash out that previous low because it's a bit of a magnet. It's exactly what happened. So actually, I will write this down here. I don't know if it will get there or not, but let me put it up on my watch list and do some numbers. Okay, I am going to mark Twitter, see if that triggers at the end of the day. United Airlines, my gosh. You know, we are starting to base down here, which is good, still under the 30 RSI. So I would be looking for a close back over 30 possibly. Doesn't look like it's going to get there today. UNH, very weak, nothing there. Oil, oh my gosh. Look at this. This is insane. Down at the 6 ATR channel, nothing to do there. VIXI, nothing there today. I would need to pull back into value. I did have a great trade on VIX back here on the 21st. V1, here's day 1, day 2. Day 2 washes out day 1, closes above day 1's close. Went under 30, over 30, under the negative third, back over the third, and had this great trade all the way up to here. Almost 15% total from top to bottom. So that was a great trade. I've had some great trades on VIX. I've had, I think, 3 15% moves on the VIX, so been fortunate with that. But now up here, just too high. Need a pullback. Verizon, oh my gosh, look at this, everybody. Look at this, way up, way down, up, down. Bullish divergence, yes. Here's a low. Here we make a lower low. These bars are this deep. This is, I guess, just a little less than halfway. But there's really no trigger here. The very minimum, I'd have to have an under 30, over 30. Walmart, well, we had that big up day. It should hold support, 50% support. It's about what it's doing, right? A big bar larger than 1 ATR. When it comes back down, it should hold support at the 50-day moving average. This is the type of case where you could go intraday and look for some kind of intraday trade, but I don't see anything there, so nothing on Walmart. Energy is just, it's very insane. Murat was right about energy. He said if it lost that low, it was going to go down. Financials just all over the place. Real estate, you know, this is a nice pattern of being way too extended, but coming into the value zone. Went down today. It's holding. If I could get another day sideways and then a V1, V2, Utilities, nothing there today. It's kind of run out of gas up here. I need to pull back into value. I did buy it back here when we were above the 1 ATR channel, came back in, had the sideways movement, had the trigger. I bought here, and this was a fantastic trade. Got out right up here, somewhere right about here, but that was a great trade. And XLV, nothing there. So really, I don't see anything here today, anything new. So let me concentrate on my current positions here. I'll be watching Walt Disney. If it closes under the 20, I'm going to get out, but that was a great trade. Silver, I'm definitely going to have to get out. SPY, be buying that at the end of the day. Win looks fine. That looks great. And then Tesla. Man, I shouldn't be laughing. That's just not fun. I mean, that's unbelievably brutal. But I am glad that we had that. I'm glad that I had that really nice trade on that today. Like, really nice. Bought it here, scaled out 5 or 6 profit targets, which on an intraday trade to make over 3% is insane, right? But the stock is in play. Okay. Let me check my order status here. So I am going to go ahead and just get rid of silver right now. That was my one stinker, but that's how it goes. All right, there goes silver. And there goes silver. Okay. Okay. Hey, Frank, good to see you. I think we have a poem here. Let's see. Frank, here's the poem. 'Tis no crystal ball that tell which stock will rise or fall. Trading is a skill, a battle of mind, and will. Ugh. 'Tis no crystal ball that tells which stock will rise or fall. Trading is a skill, a battle of the mind and will. You accept risk and manage it. Discipline we must commit, for without it, it might be wise to quit. Man, so good. I mean, seriously, just to write a poem, I'm super impressed. But to write a poem that has such a deep and applicable meaning to trading, this is unbelievable. Thank you so much, Frank. Man, this is like the coolest thing ever. Isn't that great, Steve? Jackson says, Frank, love the poems, and I believe we now have a rapper in the group also, Joe. I think, was it Joe that was, I think, yeah, Joe was doing the other, poems as well. The one I like from Joe, I miss my Pepsi and I miss my beer. We miss our poem because Frank's not here. I don't know if you guys saw that before, but this was from Joe. I keep these because they're so great. One day Frank wasn't here, so Joe gave us that one. Google odds look similar to sorry guys, I've been sick. I'm losing my voice. Google odds look similar to Apple chart. First up, but ends up lower. Looks like great earnings are already priced in. I totally agree. Great Tesla, great trade. Greg, thanks, Steve. Yeah, I kind of got outside my box today. did a little intraday trading, but that was a great one. You know, that I was very happy with that for sure. Joe, poem. Some stocks are so fragile, this is all we know. We scratch our heads wondering where they may go. The song that I heard was from Miley Cyrus as the stock market crashed from the coronavirus. Oh man, I shouldn't be laughing at the coronavirus. I'm sorry, but that's a great poem. Man, how do you guys come up with this stuff? It's incredible. Jackson says, I saw that in the delayed podcast, chuckled at Joe's raps a yo-yo. Glenn, most trading problems occur because a trader is not able to sit and do nothing while there is nothing to do. So true. So true. Actually, when the market closes today, I'm going to show you a little something right along those lines. Let me see. And I'm going to tease it right here. See that, everybody? That's a time safe. You put something in there, you cannot get it until it opens up, until the time comes that you set it, unless you get a hammer or something. But anyway, I'll follow up on that in a second. But this time safe is a good tool if you can't sit on your hands and do nothing. Really good tool, and I'll explain why. Okay, so let me get back to business here. All right. Excuse me. Yeah, I am most likely going to take Walt Disney off. I've had a great day today. Not that that should matter, but rejecting near the 50, rejecting the 20-day moving average, and being 50% of this move here concerns me. It might go up tomorrow, but honestly, I don't care. I don't care. I'm very happy with that trade. And, I have three kind of sources of resistance in my opinion right here. All right. I already got out of silver. Take that off the board. Evan, you getting out of silver also? Win looks good. Tesla's up 19.44%. So I don't really see any trades today, to be honest with you here. So I'm going to get out of Disney. I've gotten out of silver. I'm going to take the SPY trade, keep win, and I am not messing with Tesla ever, unless I get a really legitimate signal, either intraday like today's or back into the value zone. Okay, so we have 1 minute. Man, Apple has been all over the place. Rallying pretty hard there, isn't it? Nice V1 here, but no sideways movement, unfortunately. All right, so I'm going to sell Disney. I'm selling Disney. I'm buying SPY. That's what's happening. All right. Okay. Evan's out of silver. That was a weed in our garden, right? We have to keep our garden free of weeds, or in other words, keep our portfolio free of losses. That was a loss, made an educated guess based upon the crossover. Fine. That's 100% what you're supposed to do. But if it goes against you and signals, just get out, right? Yeah, it's unfortunate to have one losing trade, but you just get out and you're done with it and you move on and you keep the winner. So I did get out of Walt Disney again because of the close proximity to the 50-day, the rejection of the 20-day moving average, and it rallied halfway up into this. So take that off the board, but that was a great trade. I mean, that was over 2% trade in 2 days. So SPY, where did we get filled on the SPY today? $324.12. So nice green day. Definitely thankful for that. You know, we were talking earlier about trying to make money each day. Yes, of course, we try to make money each day, but you try to force it, I promise you it's not going to work. Just let it come when it comes, and when it's not working, just, you know, work on keeping the losses low and sitting on your hands and not doing anything. So that's the new position there on SPY. So that's all I have. I'm long SPY and I'm still long win. I want to post Joe's poem as well, but I know that he doesn't have a Twitter handle, so I can't reference it there. But I'll put your name in there anyway, Joe, for sure. Debut rap album, Joe's Fat Beats. All right. Oh, Evan's taking a position in big. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, that is pretty good for sure. Where did you get it, Evan? There we go, Evan M. Bing He, I am keeping CLGX at its lower volume today. Okay, so you shorted that. Where did you short that, Bing He? I know it was, oh no, it was today, right? It was today, I think, at the open, but maybe you could let me know where you shorted that and we can keep track of that. I will exit tomorrow if it closes above. Okay, Evan bought big at 28.22. Okay, so that's Evan. $45.57, $46.57. All right, I'm going to put a red line on there because that's a shorty. And I'll exit tomorrow if it closes above today's price. Good plan. 28.22, Bing He, 46.57. Yeah. You're welcome, Joe. All right. So, listen, I want to talk about this little time safe here. But before I do, I just want to hurry and put my quick little plug in. I know you guys hear this every day. Sorry, but I appreciate you hanging through with me. But I just want to let everybody know that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I love to teach. I've had great success with my clients. I feel like all my clients have been happy that they've taken my course. But I do have a course. It's 5 sessions, each session somewhere between 2-3 hours. Just one-on-one, you and I teach you everything I've learned over the last 24 years of being a full-time trader. I teach you everything I've learned from all my mentors and coaches like Steve Burns and Alexander Elder and Kerry Lavorne and Larry Williams. Teach the things that I've developed myself, but it's pretty intensive. I teach the first part of the session. The second part of the session, I ask a lot of questions. We do a lot of chart study. I have you break down the chart. What looks good here? What looks bad here? Is it a good risk to reward? Is it a good entry? We talk about psychology. We talk about position sizing. all the things involved in trading. So, if you're interested, please reach out to me. Before I take on a new student, I like to have a free Skype call with them. I just need to I like to learn more about them, understand their trading, what their challenges have been, what their goals are. Of course, then you can ask me any question just to see if we're the right fit for each other, because I put a lot of time and effort into these lessons. So I want to make sure that it's someone that's serious, right, and someone that really wants to learn. So, because there's only so many hours in the day and so many lessons I can teach. So I want to get the best bang for the buck, both for you and for me. So if you're interested, please reach out to me. You can send me an email. The email's in the description of this video, and you can also send me a message on Twitter if you'd like to set up that free Skype call. And then if you like today's podcast, if you find it valuable, if it's helping you whatsoever, find it interesting, please do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. It does help to promote the channel out to more people on YouTube, and there are a lot of people that need some assistance and some guidance and some mentoring with trading. So if you could hit the thumbs up button before you leave, I would really appreciate it. So, okay, so there's my plugs. Hopefully my voice will last for the rest of this. But listen, this time safe is pretty interesting. See the little gadgets in the time safe? Well, these are keys for me to get into my trading accounts. When I switched from being trading during the day to trading at the end of the day, it was tough for me because I had so many years of trading intraday. So I just kind of by habit would want to trade. And I found myself taking trades intraday that I didn't really want to take. So, you know me, your biggest enemy is yourself. So you have to look at yourself and go, okay, how can I protect myself from myself? One, I had a trading assistant, right? Two, I would lock access to my accounts in this time safe until like an hour before the market closed. So I couldn't get in even if I wanted to. Now, I know it's extreme. I don't use this anymore, but it just kind of helped me. It's kind of like quitting smoking and then putting your cigarettes in a time safe so you can't get to them. So this is what I used. I used it for about a month until I just got in the habit of not trading intraday generally, right? So anyway, I want to point this out because if you guys are having issues with sitting in front of the computer all day, taking trades that you really shouldn't, you might want to think, I just got this on Amazon. This was years ago, but this does work pretty well. It's kind of funny too, right? Oh, looks like Google's earnings are out. Uh-oh, what's happening? Oh, snap. Down 2.4% on good earnings. Earnings 1535 versus 1253 estimated, and it is down. Isn't that interesting how that happens, everyone? Right? Just like Steve said, priced in. Generally, when you have a stock that runs up super, super strong in earnings, not all the time, but I would say more than 50% of the time, big, strong rally into earnings, then it's priced in. But of course, we don't know that. Otherwise, we'd make billions of dollars, right? But it looks like it's down pretty substantially right now. I mean, 2.5%, but that could change, right? That could change. Qs are down. SPY is down. But I'll tell you what, had a ton of snow last night, just a ton. Miguel, my buddy, was out there snowblowing my driveway earlier, but man, did we have a lot of snow. It's going to be a snow adventure on my hike today. Jackson says, or move to another time zone where you can only get up during the last hour of the market. This will work also. For sure. However, the $19 time safe is probably less expensive, and I think just as effective. Jackson, tell us a little bit about the firefighting and the saving of the animals. How did that go? What kind of animals were you saving? Were they koalas or were they kangaroos? So proud of you for doing that. That's fantastic. Did your girlfriend go with you also? Well, what a nice day, huh? What a great day. Boy, now Google's down over 3%. Slowest revenue growth in 5 years. Interesting. Frank says price is the best opinion. This is true. 100%, lose your opinions. Every single time I've ever gotten in a serious amount of trouble trading over these last 24 years, honestly, guys, is when I've had an opinion. I hate to say it, like I'm embarrassed to say it. Some of my biggest losses have come because my opinion was, well, I don't think this can go down anymore. I mean, I almost got wiped out when I was in my 20s, almost wiped out, and was all opinion-based bullcrap. Seriously, if I literally would have traded like I do now and have for many years, I would have, but live and learn, right? Live and learn. I just learn from other people's mistakes. So, if you've never had to go through this, then trust me, I speak of what I know. I've had experience with this. And so, smart people learn from other people's mistakes. So, if somebody had an opinion today, like, I just know Google's going to blow out earnings, I just know it. Well, now they're wrong. Now it's down, and they still may not be able to get out of it, right? And it may go down 5%, 10%. So Jackson says, koalas, possum, kangaroos, bandaging them up, wounded, and helping other victims of the brush fire who had property taken, etc. Just volunteer work, but was sitting on my hands and decided at the last minute. So great. That's so great, Jackson. You're a good dude. Thank you for doing that. Evan says, I was looking at AbVibe today. What do you think? I decided not really considering it due to earnings this week. Let's take a look. Well, it is pretty good, I gotta say. Earnings is still 4 days away. I don't think I would have let the earnings get, look, we went under 30, over 30, nice V2, under the 100, over the 100, confluence of a 100-day moving average here, and a 30 RSI back in over the negative third ATR channel. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly is smack dab in the value zone here. Did you show me this earlier, Evan? I don't know if you did or not, but to be honest with you, I don't think you did. Did you? I'm looking back through the... Honestly, I think I would have taken it, Evan. I like the time frames. Look at the weekly. Weekly, we've come back into the value zone. right? We're back in the value zone. We've held support at the 100-week moving average. Looks like we bounced off the 50 RSI on the weekly, and we had the confluence of bouncing off the under 30, over 30 on the daily. Plus, I mean, I like these trades, right? V2, under 30, over 30, under the 100, over the 100, and the confluence of the under the 30 and the 100, and back over the 30 and the 100. Yeah, I would have taken that trade. I like it on the weekly. I like it how it looks on the weekly time frame. I like how it looks on the daily time frame. It's a really well-defined risk for me under the 100-day moving average, and my profit target would probably be up here. Jackson says, girlfriend was back in another city. It was a very quick decision, booked flight and flew 50 kilometers for the fires, but it's nice to see even you guys in the U.S. have help from other countries. Yeah, I saw some videos on Facebook where it did show some Americans coming down there. So good. Well, between the U.S. and Australia, that's probably a pretty good team there, right? Zach says, you look to buy when you cross back over the 30, not under, right? Yes, Zach, when a price goes under the 30 RSI and then back over, even if it happens intraday or if it happens the next day. But yeah, I do not look to buy when it crosses under the 30. I definitely do not want to be in it when it's under the 30. I did not show you this earlier. Yeah, I didn't think you did, because if you had, honestly, I probably would have taken that, Evan. Jackson says, I also had my head in Steve's moving average book and Jim Simon's research, as I've been focused on very strict rule-based trading and burning as few calories as possible. Very good. Very good. Keeping it simple. That's great. I think Jim Simon's kind of trading would really appeal to Jackson because, he's so tech savvy. And of course, reading Steve's moving average book. Can't read it enough. I've read that thing so many times. It's a great book. Okay. All righty. VIX is up for Andrea. It's up 21 cents in after hours, so that's good. And Jackson, you and I are due for some follow-up calls, buddy. So when you get settled and ready and all that kind of stuff, I'm looking forward to having our follow-up Skype call and catching up for sure. Evan says, looking forward to the snowy hike. Yes, I mean, I am. I've been under the weather, so it makes it a little more tedious, but I have to get Katie out there and get her walk. It's her favorite part of the day, although I walk her 3 times a day. But it's putting on all the clothes, layers upon layers upon layers, and boots and hats and blah, 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 right? But yes, I'm looking forward to it. I like to listen to some podcasts or listen to an audio book, on my walk. It's just part of my routine. Jackson says, ready when you are, mate. Just let me know. Actually, this week works pretty well for me in the evening times. Jackson says, and Greg, how's the new awning? Heard you talk about it and so glad that Katie is okay. Oh, man. It's good. It's great. It was a brand new awning, 4 posts instead of 2. So I'll tell you what, you don't appreciate not having an awning until you don't have one. And it fell right into the door. So like I tried to get out my door and I had like a half a foot to get out. It made it really hard on Katie because she couldn't really get out. So yeah, it was a big pain. But the biggest thing is that, she woke me up. She wanted to go outside. I let her outside. I'm like, wow, it's snowing a lot. I closed the door. I went back to bed. I got in bed, and I just had this premonition, or whatever you want to call it, a prompting. I'm like, I don't want her out there. So I went out, called her back in. 20, 30 minutes later, I heard this big, huge crunch, and she would have been laying right there. She would have been dead. No doubt about it. So that was on Thanksgiving, by the way. So I was very, very thankful on Thanksgiving to not lose my dog. Ugh, be horrible. So Evan, let's see how this ab vibe trade would have worked out. Oops. So this is not a real trade. This is just a let's see how it works out trade. So let's see, we would have bought it right about here somewhere, right? And I'll just put up here Evan and Greg's simulation trade. How's that, Evan? We good to go on that? My stop here would be a close below the 100-day moving average. Again, don't know if it's going to go. Don't know if it's going to work. Have no idea. But all we can do is, identify some real support underneath us. And, let's talk about what the support is. Well, the support is it went under 30 and back over. Did not like the prices under 30. Went back over. Did not like the prices under 100. Even just a day ago, did not like the prices under 100. We had the V2 here. So, our risk is, approximately from here to here. Our reward is from here to here. So that's all you can do. Obviously, you cannot predict prices, but you can put yourself in a good position with a good risk to reward ratio based upon real support and resistance levels. And that's trading. Jackson says, wow, well, glad that you're both okay. That is the main thing. Snow is a difficult concept for Aussies to grasp. Well, if you came up here, you could grasp a lot of it in your hands. Yeah, it's, I used to ski. I grew up skiing, but I don't ski anymore. And when you don't ski, you don't really have a lot of use for snow. I mean, I think I shoveled my driveway like 3 days or 4 days in a row last week. And then, because my buddy was on vacation. Now he's back and he shoveled, and he has this big machine that does it, so. All right, everybody. Well, listen, if you have any other questions or comments, please just let me know, okay? If not, I'm going to get out of here and go play in the snow. Well, that's an exaggeration. Go walk slowly in the snow. Got two great poems today from Joe and Frank. And let's see. Ooh, Google's down 3.7% now. Hey, listen, before I go and before you have any questions, let me just real quick, I do this every day at the end, but please go out and try to do something nice for somebody today. Just a smile or a wave or hold the door open or just be friendly. They could be having a day. They could have lost all hope in humanity, and just that one small little kind gesture that you do really might turn their day around, have a huge impact on the rest of their day and probably their family and their friends' day. And it's also it's good for you, right? It's good karma, all that kind of stuff. So it's free. Try to make it a habit. I think it's a good policy. And then on the way out, if you would be so kind to hit the thumbs up button. If you found today's podcast helpful, I would really appreciate that. Dan says, hope you're feeling better soon, Greg. Thanks for your great teaching. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate the kind words. It's very nice. Thank you. Walk in the snow, Greg. Send you a message regarding times, etc. Ciao. Okay, sounds good. Bye, Andrea. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. And I know you've had some good trades lately on bonds and VIX and all that kind of stuff. So great job, my friend. All right. Well, I think that's it. Unless anybody wants to sneak one more in. But really nice day today. Nice to put some nice screen up on the board. Evan says, now I feel bad I didn't mention earlier. Haha. Well, you know, that's how it goes, right? I can't follow every single stock, but, you know, as far as good risk to reward ratios, good setups, a good confluence, what I really like about AdVibe is the confluence of the under 30 over 30 at the same time it has a confluence with the under 100 over 100. You know, generally I consider a deep dip by back down to the 200 or an under 30 over 30, right? But deep dip buys are also if you have a dip down to the 100 at the same time you have an under 30 over 30, right? Moves down to the 100 generally are not deep enough for me, but when they coincide with a 30 RSI, that really qualifies. So we'll see how it goes, right, Evan? We will see how it goes. But again, I like the weekly. See, the weekly is back in a very good position here in the value zone, and it's stopped going down, right? So always look at a large time frame, always look at the small time frame, you know, make sure, like if we had a nice signal on the daily but the weekly was up here, there's no way I'd take it. No way, right? But this is in a great spot on the weekly and a great spot on the daily. So hey, at least we'll do it for fun. You're welcome, Zach. Thanks for coming, my friend. Joe says, take care, Greg. See you tomorrow. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate the great poem today, along with Frank. Thanks for the poem, Frank. And being he, thank you, sir. Good seeing you. Hope you have a nice morning in Singapore. And we'll be watching your CLGX to the downside and your other stuff to the upside. Frank says, sounds like everyone's making money. Very nice. Yeah, you know, I mean, look, last week was kind of crazy, right? Like in January, I didn't have a lot of trades up because everything was so extended. It came back down, took a few trades, had some winners, had some losers, but yeah, today really kind of moved the needle to the upside, which is nice. So, all right, everybody, appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, and hopefully talk to you tomorrow. And remember, go out and try to do something nice for somebody today, okay? All right. Thanks again. Take care now. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.